What's up, UA fam? Ashley here. And if you love this podcast and you actually find yourself re-listening to episodes and wanting more of Taryn and I, guess what? You should subscribe to our Supercast where we give you bonus content every single week. But not just basic episodes, we do interactive episodes like personalized AMAs where you can specifically ask Taryn how her dating life is going, and you can specifically ask me how it's been living with my boyfriend this past few months. We do solo episodes and even scary episodes because we know how much you guys love those scary stories. And our Supercast community has been growing exponentially, so don't miss out. Subscribe to Supercast now and join the fun. Oof. That was fresh. That was crisp.
That's like I'm so ready to just get into the tea.
Let's do it.
Let's just crack open.
Taryn and I are currently sipping Celsius. Hello, Celsius. Sponsor us. And the way I am 90% caffeine right now. Like, I have barely sipped my water bottle, which is sitting right next to me. And what's so funny, I just told Taryn this yesterday.
Are you gonna let us into like
literally
what you're laughing about?
Just did a body scan after a workout recently. One of my favorite workout classes at 45 had NutriShop come by and they did free body scans, which is crazy because getting a body scan is so expensive. So they were like, okay, we're gonna do this. I get my chart back, and the guy was like, "You're severely dehydrated," and I was like,
how is that possible? You drink so much water.
That's crazy. I drink so much water. Like, I'm like 2 to 3 of these bottles a day. Legitimately, I'm not exaggerating. And he was like, well, your body's not holding on to it. And he told my friend the same thing. The common denominator is we drink way too much caffeine. And he was like, listen, you're going to have to start adding some electrolytes to your water because it's not cutting it. And I was like, this is crazy, but here I am.
Here we are.
I've had a coffee and now I'm sipping my Celsius, and I am the problem. It's
you
me.
are.
Today's episode is brought to you by Hers. Through Weight Loss by Hers, you can give yourself something to be excited about in 2025. You can spend the new year in control of your weight by losing up to an average of 9 pounds in your first month. Like, what an amazing Kickstarter. This is based on data that real Hers customers have reported based on their personalized compounded GLP-1 treatment plans. Guys, it's no secret, Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to affordable weight loss treatment plans delivered straight to your door if prescribed. Start your initial free online visit today at forhers.com/advice. That's forhers.com/advice for your personalized weight loss treatment options. forhers.com/advice. Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. So we often hear about the quote unquote red flags we should avoid, but what if we focus more on looking for green flags in friends and in partners? If you're not sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify green flags, actively practice them in your relationships, and embody the green flag energy yourself. Whether you're dating, married, building a friendship, or just working on yourself, it's time to form relationships that love you back. Some of the things I love about BetterHelp is that it's fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient wherever you are, serving over 5 million people worldwide. You get access to diverse networks of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. And the best thing about BetterHelp is they allow for you to easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost, because we know it's important to find someone that you click with. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/unsolicited today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/unsolicited.
Well, I mean, there's no hope for any of us because if you're dehydrated, I'm like basically sandpaper on the inside.
Yeah, I just got to start sprinkling some Himalayan salt into my water, essentially. It's not enough.
Woof, man.
Yeah, but it's okay. Other than that, I'm very excited to record today. I just feel like I have a really juicy story. I don't know about you.
Mine's pretty good too. Mine's a good, like, what would you do?
Oh, fun.
You know?
Maybe we just do some really quick updates and we can dive right in.
Yeah.
Tell us, Taryn, how's long distance going? The eye twitch.
You know, it's It's funny because I've learned to just never trust my emotions because I'll be very upset about and just very doomsday. Everything sucks. Woe is me. And then like 5 minutes later, he'll text me or we'll FaceTime and then I'll be like, everything's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a trust your gut, not your emotions lesson.
Yeah, no, it's basically like I just get sad.
Yeah.
And then when I'm sad, I'll just like spiral.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's going to be good because he's coming home this weekend.
Oh my goodness.
Well, he hates when I call it home. He's like, that's not my home, that's your home.
But also,
it will be.
Aren't I your home?
I'm manifesting that. Yeah, he's going to be back in town. So it'll be good because we'll be reunited. And then like stuff will be changing. So like we'll be around each other more often. So that'll be exciting.
I'll be that.
I'll be just a happy version of myself.
I have a separate question for you.
Okay.
Will I ever get to meet him?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not done. You gave me so much crap for not meeting Jackson for like 3 months.
Actually,
we're at like 5 over here.
Okay.
Who is this guy?
We are not at 5.
We are.
We're not even at 4.
Well,
and you know that I can't get into the details, but the details are very, very different.
Understandably so, but he's met your brothers, so
once.
So twice? Wasn't there like 2 separate situations?
Which you could have come to.
I wasn't invited.
You were invited to the first one.
I don't remember that.
You were invited to the first one. You went
digress.
to Lexi's thing.
What Lexi's thing?
You went to Lexi's thing.
Lexi's thing?
Yeah, Lexi had something.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I want to meet him.
For sure, I want you to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different circumstances. You know this.
Totally, but also...
This is not fair because you know I can't get into the details of why it's different.
Doesn't matter.
Rude. Yes, you will meet him. Hopefully he... I just, give me a few days to just... I told him
I'll meet him at your wedding. It's fine.
Get out of here. I told him I'm just going to be like a koala, just like on him for 24 hours straight, like needing so much attention, but
he'll love it.
So excited.
What are we goofing at? He'll love it.
What other updates besides that? I feel like my life is just very like hectic right now and I'm trying to like keep all the pieces like organized, but I feel like my life just has like lots of different areas. Like I have like podcasts and then I have like social media stuff and then I have my job and then friends and work and family. And like, it's just like all areas that are very spread apart. And then every once in a while, all of the areas will get very busy at the same time.
Yeah. It's like a seasonal thing.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's like, they don't necessarily all correlate, but like somehow everything happens like every April. I'm slammed. And it's like, it has to do with my sister's birthday, like Coachella, Stagecoach, like all of my, whether I go or not, like every brand is like pushing for that. So even if I don't go, I might be working for one that is going. And it's just like, I always know April's crazy.
Yeah.
June is always somehow wildly crazy. And so like the top half of July because of the 4th. And then like October is always wild. Like there's just like these weird times where it's like, it just gets really crazy for a really hot minute. Like I made plans with a friend of mine to do lunch and I literally put it in my calendar like 2 weeks out and was like, all right, I'll see you then.
Yeah.
Like it has to be in the calendar otherwise.
No, it's really hard to like balance life in general right now. So
spontaneity is like not a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's my update. What's your update?
I had a very fun night the other night. I can't believe we haven't talked about this.
Oh.
Have you played the new Mario Party?
There's a new Mario Party? Wait, there's a third one?
Oh, they dropped a brand new one with all brand new boards. Like it's so fun. It came out last November.
Oh my gosh. No, what's it called? Because they're superstars.
Mario Party Jamboree, brand new boards, so much fun, brand new games. And it's so funny because Taryn and I really dove into that during COVID. Like we would play like damn near every night. We had a happy hour every night, and that's when we would play Mario Party.
Literally.
It was so much fun. But during that time, we were all like, this is so crazy. Like, they've had the same boards since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, the same boards. And they finally dropped like a brand new one. And like me, Jackson, and Alicia have been playing nonstop. It's so much fun. But Alicia was gone for something, so we hadn't played in a while. We finally played the other night, and Greer came over, and we all played. And it was so much fun. We did like a full 20 turns. Like, we made dinner. It was life-giving, and I want to play with you now.
Yeah.
Because you're the one that I feel like I really like.
Oh, I love
We had
Mario
like
Party.
our Mario Party.
Oh, yes.
And Peanuts.
That is so exciting because I feel like, once you get like, you've mastered all the boards, then you're like, I need a challenge.
Yeah, they have really good boards. Like, there's a lot.
Exciting.
There's a lot of new things. So it's so silly. But it was one of those nights that was just like life giving, and I was like, I also won, which is a big deal, twice in a row, because Alicia and Jackson are weirdly good.
So, twice in a row.
Yeah.
Wow.
The time before, and then this time.
Oh yeah,
it's going straight to my head, obviously,
as it should.
But yeah, that was really fun, and it fueled my soul.
Love that for you.
And it was great. So should we dive right in, since we have some excellent stories today?
Let's do it.
Let's start it off with a tearing it up, because that's how we do this. This one is titled, My Crayfish Walked Across the Floor.
Crayfish?
In front of my roommate. Yeah, have you ever seen a crayfish?
No.
They're kind of like a crawdad.
No.
They have like these pincher claws.
I thought it was a crawfish.
But it's like a I think that's the same thing. Crayfish, crawfish.
What's a crayfish? Oh yeah, crayfish. Oh, what the heck? Yeah, I would have thought that was a lobster.
Yeah, it has like the tail, but it's not a lobster. It's more
like
brown.
Tiny.
Yeah, it's little, kind of like a crawdad.
Oh, crazy. Okay, continue.
Our listener writes, "Good morning, beautiful gems. It is morning for me. Not sure about you guys, but anyways, technically it is. So that worked out for you. I would like to remain anonymous, but for you, you can know my name. My name is all together now. Bleep it, Michaela. I'm 21, living in Florida, and graduated with my bachelor's in marine biology." Little smarty pants. On to why I screamed in my apartment 20 minutes ago.
20 minutes ago.
20 minutes
this
ago.
Is fresh.
It happened, and she wrote us.
Love that.
And that's why I love this community. I'm jumping right into this, tearing it up, because this literally just happened. And after texting my friend in all caps about this, I knew y'all should be next to hear about it. So, ... I woke up on this gorgeous Monday morning ready to tackle my task and get ready for some meetings that I had later that day. I thrive on a podcast and morning chores. And since it's Monday, you know who I was listening to. Girl, we are the same. The way I woke up, made a coffee, and immediately started playing my podcasts, we'd be best friends.
Yeah.
I put on my headphones and begin to start my morning chores. One of the first things I always do is turn on my aquarium light. Some backstory. As a marine bio major and a professional scuba diver, I love aquariums. I have had aquariums since I was little, and when I got to college, it became a part-time job. I currently have a freshwater planted tank with blue crayfish. I'm obsessed with crustaceans. I have had this crayfish for a year and a half now, and he has a little personality. He's been through many tank changes, plant rearrangements, and never has been an issue. Crayfish are super adaptable and hardy tank mates, so they are easy and fun to keep. Yesterday, I decided to do a big tank update. I added propagations from my houseplants so that they could stick up outside of the tank. I've done this before, but this was my first time using snake plant cuttings. I finished the tank and put my crayfish in it, and he seemed so happy for the cave that I built him. This morning when I turned on the light, I was so excited to see him eat for the first time in his new tank. He always picks a specific spot to feed, so when I turn on the light, he'll usually see me and he'll come right to that spot because he knows that's where he gets his food. When I turned on the light and got the food, I didn't see him come out.
Oh, no.
I look in the cave and he's not there. I look in the other hiding places and he's not there. I then proceed to start pulling out the plants and rocks from my beautiful decorated tank to see where he is. And maybe he just found like a really clever hiding spot, but he's not there.
I would be freaking out.
Then it hits me. Crayfish are notorious for being escape artists. Who knew?
Who knew?
But he's never tried anything in the year and a half that I've had him, so I wasn't concerned about my new plants, to be fair. This is the first time I've had plants that tall sticking out of the tank. I've attached a picture for reference. But I digress. The point is, he's 100% not in the tank. So I'm down on all fours looking for him under my bed, on my desk, in my closet, nowhere to be found. After about 30 minutes of searching, I started getting hungry. And to be honest, I needed my coffee. So my crayfish somewhere in the apartment is waddling around, but coffee first.
So they don't need to be like immersed in water all the time?
No, they're kind of like crabs.
Okay.
Where they can like go out on sand, walk around.
So it wasn't like he's flopping around dying.
No,
okay,
no. I eat my breakfast and make my coffee and continue doing my chores because I did have a busy day that day. I honestly began to get in the swing of things listening to a new podcast episode and forgetting about my lost crayfish. I'm walking around my room when all of a sudden in my peripheral vision, I noticed something moving out of the corner of my eye. My crayfish is literally walking past my door in the hallway and I screamed. First, I take a video because it's hilarious. And yes, I attached that below. And I walk out of my room to rescue my little guy. And my roommate is in the kitchen. And I'm staring at my walking blue crayfish on the ground. I look at her and go, "Did you see this?" And point to the ground. And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I thought it was fake."
I'm done.
So she saw it and just like walked right past
Just like, what's up, little guy?
By the way, my roommate is a student of my university as well, but we don't know each other. And we really only have roommate conversations. I'm sitting there wondering why she didn't say something or scream or yell for me in any way. She watched me pick him up and I go and plop him back in the tank. I sit there and he just kind of floats there at the top and it doesn't look like he's going to make it. I have been in my room for 2 hours eating breakfast and cleaning. And if I had walked out there during my morning, I definitely would have noticed. This means sometime before I woke up at 7 a.m., he had gotten out of the tank, fallen 2 feet off the desk, walked at least 15 feet from the tank to my room door, crawled under the door, and was just roaming around the living room, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
The area around my tank was dry, meaning he at least made his escape long enough ago that all the water that would have ended up on the desk had evaporated. Meaning I think he was probably out there exploring while my roommate was getting ready to leave earlier. I'm literally dying at this incident. My poor roommate gets home and she would have had to walk past it, realizing there's a live blue crayfish walking around our house. And she then adds, she probably thinks I'm psychotic. My God. Anyways, as I'm starting this email, he started swimming down back to his cave. So yay, he survived.
He's alive.
Hopefully he learned his lesson. Love y'all. This is her and her friend. They're both religious supercasters.
Amazing.
All the cool people are these days. A photo
I need to see her crayfish.
of her tank with the blue crayfish.
Oh my gosh.
He's
okay,
blue.
so he climbed up.
Yes.
The
So if you don't
snake.
know what a snake plant looks like, it's like that plant that goes straight up, and they're really thick, really sturdy leaves. So I'm guessing if he was to crawl up it wouldn't like flop over. It would hold still. So it's a perfect like ladder for him to literally crawl out of the thing. And then she attached a photo of him literally just walking across the doorway.
I'm done.
It's so funny.
He's so cute.
I have never had an aquarium like that. I had goldfish growing up and that's it. So
I did.
Taryn had turtles. My turds. At one point, I knew I was at Taryn's house if it smelled like an aquarium.
It was some dark days. It was not my choice, but I did what I could to save their lives.
She was a good mom.
They moved on.
She took good care of them.
I didn't kill them. I took them to a turtle sanctuary. Just to be clear. Then I cried.
Today's episode is brought to you by Hers. Through Weight Loss by Hers, you can give yourself something to be excited about in 2025. You can spend the new year in control of your weight by losing up to an average of 9 pounds in your first month. Like, what an amazing Kickstarter. This is based on data that real Hers customers have reported based on their personalized compounded GLP-1 treatment plans. Guys, it's no secret, Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to affordable weight loss treatment plans delivered straight to your door if prescribed. Hers offers a holistic weight loss program with personalized solutions, including compounded GLP-1 weekly injections, featuring the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medication kits. After submitting an online intake form, a licensed medical provider will determine what plan is best for you if prescribed. Your program includes medication, ongoing care, and online support, all at one low cost. Weight loss plans are more affordable through Hers, with compounded GLP-1 injections starting at $165 per month with a 12-month plan paid upfront for new subscribers. There's no membership fees and, of course, no hidden fees. So if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey, it's time you find the best option that works for you through Hers. Start your initial free online visit today at forhers.com/advice. That's forhers.com/advice for your personalized weight loss treatment options. forhers.com/advice. Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased.
Do you remember when I called you?
Red herring.
Red-eared sliders.
Red-eared sliders.
Yeah.
I knew it was red something.
They were great, but they smelled disgusting.
Yeah. I spent the night a couple times and I remember being like, woof.
I had to clean that tank literally like every other day, and it would smell okay for like a few hours.
Yeah.
And then it would start sinking again.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. Yeah.
I had a friend who had a tortoise, and I think he's still alive.
Yeah, I feel like
they get old and they get big.
Because those, like, they can just like walk around outside and whatever. It's like it's the water, and they're just like messy. Like,
well, they like poop and pee in the water too, so it's like it gets gross real quick. But
and they got so big, and so like it would have cost so much money to get like a bigger tank, and I was like, okay, I didn't commit to this.
Yeah,
they were literally dying in front of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because my roommate got them and was not taking care of them, so I was like, I had to.
Yeah,
I couldn't watch them die.
Gotta save them. Yeah,
I had to save them.
A hero, a modern day hero.
You know,
just living life, saving turtles.
I saved the turtles, so I tried. Okay, let's jump into our first story. This one is titled, "My boyfriend of 2 years stonewalled me out of the blue." Help.
Yikes. Okay, let's dive into it.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot what stonewalled meant when I first read this.
What does it mean?
Stonewalled is when you like...
Me being like, yikes. I just knew it was bad.
Stonewalled is like you like stop all communication, right? Yeah, like silent treatment, like to the extreme. Mandy. Like
she keeps me young.
You keep us current. Mandy, thank you. Hey, Ash and Taryn, my name is and she puts, I would like to stay anonymous. And then she puts, bleep it.
Bleep it, Michaela.
They know. Hee. I'm an Enneagram 2. And then she puts /4. So I'm assuming she like scored high on 2 and 4.
Okay. Her 2 top numbers.
Mm-hmm. I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and I work in social media marketing.
Ooh, my girl.
I know. I hope you get a chance to read this email. I've been listening to the pod for a while now, but I originally found you guys from Alicia, as I've been following her since school Alicia days and was able to meet her and Remy last year at La La Land. Oh, I remember that event at the Grove. I really have enjoyed your podcast and getting to know you guys and the topics you bring to the table all the time. Anyways, here's my dilemma. I have been dating my boyfriend for almost 2 years now. We moved in together in September of last year. Candidly, we've moved fast in our relationship. When I met him on Bumble, I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship, moved across the country, and was living with my grandparents since I hadn't gotten an apartment yet. Needless to say, I was going through it at the time of our meeting. Yet we seemed to just keep hanging out ever since the first day, and here we are living together now in a gorgeous apartment. The end of 2024 ended up being a doozy for me. I lost both of my grandmothers within a month of each other.
Oh my God.
And was just struggling mentally. That is so sad.
Oh my God.
That is so
devastating.
sad.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. My boyfriend and I had talked about spending Christmas together with his family and my own. Mind you, my family lives where we do, and his family lives all in different states. So we would have had to travel to get to his folks. Once my grandmother's passed away, I made it clear that I did not feel strong enough to go to his family's Christmas, as I wanted to spend time with my family to process this new Christmas together. That's true, because like the first Christmas after passing, it's like everything feels different. Like
Every
all
tradition is different. There's a seat that's empty. There's like, you don't need to buy that many cards. You don't have to buy that many gifts. It's so different. Holidays suck when you've lost someone.
Absolutely. We just decided to do separately this year. Come Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I'm calling, texting, sending photos to him, and yet nothing from him.
Yeah.
No callback. No text saying why he can't call back. No call on Christmas. He would occasionally text, yet his excuse was he's with his family and can't talk, which is like ridiculous. Like, especially like holiday stuff, like you can always like step away.
Yeah.
This was just so not like him, as he's always been such a good partner to me, showing how much he loves me and through all of the love languages. He point blank has always been the chaser in the relationship. I could tell something was up, but I still got no real response or calls the whole week he was gone. He straight up stonewalled me.
For a week?
As my therapist would say. Yeah, so like the whole week he was just like being non-responsive.
Oh my God.
He ended up coming home to our apartment after the holidays and still was acting weird. You can tell when your person is just off.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It was probably weird over phone. Once he came home, she was like, okay.
Yeah. Like this is not in my head.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. He had been upset I didn't go to see his family over the holidays.
I figured.
Yet I needed him to understand my struggle with my recent loss. He continued like this for maybe 2 weeks after his time around his family. The other day, he ended up opening up to me, just saying he doesn't feel 100% about our relationship, which like same since everything happened.
Yeah.
I've had to insert my thoughts of what I think he may be thinking. However, I explained how he needs to communicate for this to be able to work, how we need to be in sync, how he should be able to come to me and be vulnerable with concerns or issues. I told him how I need someone who is going to wake up every day and choose me and fight for what a relationship needs. Ever since we had this conversation, he has really felt better, like went back to his normal. Here is where I need your thoughts though. We have been together for almost 2 years. We legit looked at engagement rings around Thanksgiving time as our relationship was progressing, and we both want the same things in the future. Since then, we've put engagement talk on pause. Is this silence a deal breaker? How do I know if this red flag is showing me things to come? I'm concerned and need more opinions on how to move forward. Thanks, girly pops. I know this was long. Sending all the love to you guys in LA right now. And then she adds, I lived in the OC and worked in Disney social media for a few years and want to move back one day. I'm attaching pics below of us two and our cat, Georgia. XOXO. They are really cute.
Oh my goodness. Y'all are adorable. That feels like a Hallmark.
Right. That's how I was like, this is like the perfect little.
Yeah.
This is hard.
Yeah.
Because it's hard when you like quote unquote, I hate that phrase because I feel like I get it wrong every time, move past an issue, but you still are like, but it still happened and I'm still worried, like, is that going to happen again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And this is one of those things where it's so clear and obvious that I fully understand both sides. I do. I really do. I think it would be really hard for me to leave my family over the holidays after we lost two people. One would be hard enough. Two, that is a huge gaping hole that like is going to be awkward. And now I'm going to leave too. Like that's really tough.
Yeah.
I would feel a lot of guilt if I did leave.
Absolutely.
But then also you're in a committed relationship, and I'm assuming it sounds like it was his turn to go to his family for the holidays, and it's only fair that it's 50-50. So I understand him being a little hurt. I do think he needs to grow up and read the circumstances. It's not like you chose your family over his just out of spite or just for like the fun of it. Like there was death in the family. But I do think you need to now create some kind of opportunity to go do something with his family. So I think what I would do if I were you, Anonymous, is I would be like, hey, let's sit down. I want to be very clear about this. Like, I like you a lot. Like, it sounds like y'all love each other, right? You said an engagement. So I would say like, I love you. I see a future with you. I want this to work out. I want to be very clear when I say this. I didn't not go to your family holiday just to not go to your family holiday. I really felt like I needed to be with my family to make this new chapter without my grandmothers a more bearable chapter for this first holiday season. Like I felt like that was my responsibility and I needed to be there. I am sorry I wasn't there for your family holiday. I'm really upset that you didn't call me or like do anything. I am curious, Anonymous, if you tried to call him on Christmas. Did she clarify?
Yeah, it sounds like she like was fully ignored, and it sounds like they've since coming back, like they've had this conversation. So like they've already settled and apologized, like settled everything.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah. So the issue is she's trying to figure out like, was the fact that he just basically like threw that tantrum and like cut her off, is that something that she should pay more attention to moving forward?
100% yes.
Which it is scary because like what he did in that moment is he was hurt and pretty much threw a tantrum.
I was going to say a very immature response.
I think he felt like he didn't get his way, and his way of asserting control over the situation was to ignore you.
Yeah, he tried to stick it to you by giving you the silent treatment.
Yes, which is so... What bothers me the most about that is like that time, holidays when you just have lost someone is such a hard time. And him as your loving partner, like that should have been the time where he's checking on you nonstop. Like, hey, like I know this is so hard for you. Like, how are you doing with this?
And to be clear, I totally love and respect that I'm with my family. I can't talk right now, but to go all day and not call on Christmas, and you're in a committed relationship talking about engagement soon,
and then come home and be copping an attitude.
Absolutely not.
And I'm not trying to, I know you guys have like solved this.
Right.
I'm not trying to like re-trigger you.
But let's reiterate, it's a flag.
Yeah. So,
and it's red.
I do think that's something to watch for. And I think that's something that, you know, like, okay, if something comes up where we have a disagreement, where we have a difference of opinions,
you don't get to go.
You can't just check out. You can't just decide, I don't agree, so I'm going to cut you out. And like,
and if you do need space, which just sounds like that's what he needed, guess what? Adults communicate that.
Yeah, like
hey, I'm hurt right now. We're good. I'll talk to you later, but like I'll call you after dinner or I'll call you tomorrow morning.
Because she even said that, like she even said he didn't even give a text saying why he can't call back. Like, because I think there's like, I don't know, like I think guys don't understand that sometimes. I think they just assume all they're going to get is crazy from women. And sometimes I'm like, all you need to do is just say like, hey, I don't want to hang out tonight. Like, or, hey, I'm in a mood. I need space. I need time. Like, yeah, I might not love that, but I'll be like, okay. Like, I'd rather you tell me that.
Yeah.
And me process that and give space.
Yeah.
Than me just be like sitting around going like, cool, like, hello.
Yeah. Something Jackson's really good at is him and I are very similar in this way. We can just both be in bad moods for no real reason. Like maybe we didn't sleep good, whatever. He's really good at being like, hey, like if I'll be like, hey, are you good? The second I ask that, he'll be like, yeah, I'm just in a bad mood, or I'm just sorry. I'm just like, I'm not having it today or whatever. Like, it's not you, but I'm in a mood. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry. Let me know if you need anything. Bye. Like, I'm going to go do my own thing and give you space. Like, but you don't have to, we don't have to have a huge, serious sit down, deep dive into why you're having a bad mood. Just let me know it's not me.
Yeah.
And I'll take off. Like,
quick check-in.
Yeah. Like if I'm having a day and I need to go like in our bedroom, light a candle, do an everything shower, face mask and read, like I'll be like, hey, I'm going to go do this for me. And he'll be like, okay, cool. And then he'll come in and check in sometimes and be like, hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
But like, it's a clear communication that it's not you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a lot of communication to let someone know that it's not you. Like, hey, when Taryn and I moved in together, the amount of times I was like, I'm closing my door. Don't bother me. I'm in a funk. Don't mind me. And she did the same thing. And it's a courtesy thing.
Yeah.
It's just common courtesy. It's crazy that people can't do that.
Yeah.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. So we often hear about the quote unquote red flags we should avoid, but what if we focus more on looking for green flags in friends and in partners? If you're not sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify green flags, actively practice them in your relationships, and embody the green flag energy yourself. Whether you're dating, married, building a friendship, or just working on yourself, it's time to form relationships that love you back. As you guys know, Taryn and I are huge advocates for therapy. We have both benefited from therapy personally in our own lives. And I'm actually really excited. Me and Jackson are starting a new venture of premarital counseling. No, I'm not engaged yet, but I am so excited to start building that foundation with my partner where we can discuss like future things that we know are going to come our way. Just because things are good now doesn't mean we shouldn't start talking about them now. It's so helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries with each other. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. And whether you're doing couples therapy or just therapy for yourself, it isn't just for those who have experienced major trauma. Some of the things I love about BetterHelp is that it's fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient wherever you are, serving over 5 million people worldwide. You get access to diverse networks of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Again, guys, wherever you are, you don't have to live by them. They're just available to you online. And the best thing about BetterHelp is they allow for you to easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost, because we know it's important to find someone that you click with. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/unsolicited today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/unsolicited.
It's just interesting. And I would be curious if part of the reason you're kind of like, I don't know if this is causing some of the doubt, but you guys are like talking about engagement and then this thing happens. He like stonewalls you, comes back, is acting weird. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, I don't know if I'm 100% about the relationship.
Yeah.
So that would cause this fear in me of like, okay, so every time something goes wrong, you just then are not sure about us. Like that would cause me to have this very like insecure feeling in the relationship of like, so I can't even like, nothing can be messed up.
Yeah. You can't just go and threaten to end everything every time you have a little fight. That's like me and Taryn being in a bad mood and me being like, I don't know if I can do this podcast with you anymore. Like that's wild to jump to that every time there's a problem.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That would be crazy. I would, if that was my response, Taryn would be like walking on eggshells every time she was having a bad day or like having emotions or whatever. Like that's not healthy.
No. So I don't think like, I definitely don't think like, it's not like there was like, I don't think his behavior was appropriate, but it sounds like you guys have addressed it and moved forward. So I do think that it warrants conversations of like, hey, if ever this happens again, there needs to be more communication. Like you can't just cut me out like that. And then I think like, I don't think it needs to be something where the relationship's done, but I do think it's something to pay attention to. Like the next time there's a big conflict, my eyes are going to be peeled on like how he's handling it.
Yeah.
And paying attention, because in a partner, like you want someone who can like have those conversations with you and move forward, and who you're not afraid to have conflict with, or like you're like keeping everything inside because you're like, well, I can't bring it up to him because he's going to freak out and disappear for a week. Like, what?
I think a healthy relationship doesn't take much. It's simple and easy to be like, hey, if you were like, hey, are you okay? All he had to do was say, I'm a little bummed you didn't come to the holidays. It's causing me to like think through some things, but let's talk about it when we get home. The fact that you had to dig and text and zero response. The fact that he came home and still was throwing some kind of attitude without talking about it first gives me a lot of worry and would give me a lot of pause. And I feel like anyone in that situation would be like, okay, yikes, I don't think you're the healthiest person.
Yeah.
I can't believe, you couldn't even text me. I can't believe you couldn't even say, hey, sorry, I didn't text you over the holidays. This has been on my mind. Let's talk about it. So I would be worried. And I think I would have a sit down and I'd be like, let's talk about us. Like, are we in this? Because if we're not, which it kind of feels like you aren't, if you can't even text me that you're mad or hurt about something, then we need to have like another conversation of like if we're actually suited for marriage. Because
it sounds like they're in like a reset right now, because they were talking about engagement. They've had this hiccup, and now engagement talk has kind of like died down.
Yeah.
So I get why there's like hesitation and like insecurity, but I think that's kind of normal.
Yeah.
Like when you go through something, like
down.
you're not going to be like, engagement, right? When things feel like iffy. So
hey, I know you're not talking to me right now, but like, should we go like pick out a ring?
So I think give it a minute. I think, relationships are hard, and just like you're telling him, like, I want someone to like choose me and fight for me. Like you have to like want to choose him and fight for him too. But I think you give it your all and you pay attention and see if he's also giving it his all, and you give it a little time, and then you kind of revisit, have that conversation like, hey, are we still in this? We still want the same things. And then if you are, and you're seeing that change and you're confident to move forward, then you do it and you pay attention and you move forward. But if not, I mean, 2 years, it's hard because that's a long time to have invested in someone, but it's also not 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things where, I don't know, you don't want to just stay in something if you're seeing things and you're not with someone who's making you feel like they're your everything, but also you don't want to give up on someone just after like one hiccup. So it's one of those things where only and I would definitely talk to friends and have friends be paying attention to behaviors and things too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very curious of other behaviors from him in your relationship, because him getting mad because you need to stay with your family after both of your grandmas died and not checking up on you. Like, I'm very curious if he's like very selfish or if he's not very like loving to you, because that seems very weird to me.
It's crazy.
I don't know.
There are rules when it comes to stuff like this. And one of the biggest, I don't want to say excuse, but like, I'm going to use that for lack of a better word. One of the biggest excuses for life is death, right? Like anytime anyone has lost anyone, they have the right to do whatever they need to do to take a moment, process that, and get back on track, like, and it wasn't like it was a friend of a friend who worked with a friend of yours that died. It was her grandma, and it was both her grandmas.
I know.
Give her a break. Like there is an unspoken rule that you let them go do whatever they have to do. And going right into the holidays with that, like she had to be with her family. And if you don't understand that and you take that personally,
and you don't check on her, I don't know. I'm just very curious if there's other patterns or red flags where he's not thinking of you and your needs too. So I don't know. It might be time to like sit with your friends and like share all of the things that are going on, not just the sugar-coated version, but everything, and then kind of see like what their opinions are before making a decision.
That's a good point. I wonder, have you talked to your friends? Have you told everyone what he's done? Have you told your family what he's done?
That's how I know when I'm like, ooh, I'm not telling my friends something, then I always have to kind of reel it back and be like, am I not telling them? Because it's like really just like not anyone's business, or am I not telling them because I don't really want someone's opinion?
Yeah.
Because
you know.
Yeah.
Because you know, if I'm not telling, if Jackson does something and it breaks me and I don't tell Alicia or Taryn, I should check in with myself because I'm probably trying to protect my relationship and his image. I'm trying to defend him. Women tend to do that.
Yes. So
really annoying. I'm including myself in that.
We're all there.
I'm probably trying to protect my image, their image of him being this like great guy, instead of letting them in on, oh, he's not good at this. And that's when I need to like reevaluate myself, because if I'm not telling them that, that's because I don't want to hear their honest thoughts on that, because I know their honest thoughts on that aren't good. Yeah. Because if Jackson did that to me, Alicia would be like, Taryn would be like, I'm sorry he didn't text you. Like, I thought you guys loved each other. And I would be like, no, we did. And she'd be like, well, he didn't check in on you.
I'd be like, he's mad at you for staying home after your grandma's died. Like, I'm sorry, what? Where's the fight?
It's unbelievably selfish is what it is. And it sometimes takes an outside person to kind of get that through your head. Yeah. And we've all been there. We talked about that last podcast with like Rachel and Matt.
Yes, that's true.
Sometimes an outside person needs to like drill that into your head, because you have your love blinders on and you don't see it. And that is why you have to have your besties. Yeah. You have to have a close circle of people, 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, whatever. You have to have a close circle where you're allowed to talk about everything, where you're allowed to be like, hey, this is my partner. Here's what he's good at. Here's what he's bad at. And like, here's what we're working on. And here's like our trajectory. Here's our new goals like that we're working on. You have to have people on your side. Otherwise, it's easy to just brush things under the rug. And then you end up married with kids and it all starts coming out. And you're like, I don't know how I got here. And it's because
I just told you. Yep.
So please, I hope you're telling your family. I hope you're telling your close circle, whoever you have in your team. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yes, you got this, girl. I think like don't get overwhelmed. Just take one step at a time. And I think that's when it gets hard to approach a topic. Like just take one step at a time, have one conversation at a time, and like you'll arrive where you're supposed to be.
Baby steps, baby. All right, let's go ahead and dive into my story. Well, again, this one's very juicy, so grab a beverage, maybe turn up the volume. I don't know what you got to do, but do what you got to do. This one is titled, My First Friend in College Hooked Up with My Crush.
Oh, no. Why? Girl code.
Girl code. Hey, ladies, I absolutely love the podcast and listen religiously every single week. I have been a longtime fan, going back to Alicia's apartment vlogs with Ash, which is, y'all, that's like 10 years. That's as long as our friendship. I absolutely love both of you, and you feel like the older sisters I never had.
Aww. Honored.
My name is but I would like to say anonymous on this podcast. Believe it, Michaela. I'm a freshman in college at Arizona State University, and I'm still trying to find my footing in a campus of over 50,000 students. At the start of the school year, in the fall of 2024, I became super close with my sweet mate, let's call her Ava for this story. We did quite literally everything together, staying out until 1 a.m., just talking, listening to music in the parking garage, all the things. Another person who was a big part of my life at this time was a boy I had known for 2 years. We had worked together for a bit, and I had a crush on him for about a year. The feelings kind of faded, but when we started hanging out more because of how close we were on campus, I started to catch feelings for him again. And let's call him Brody. One day, I thought I would introduce them because they're both very important people in my life, and I thought it would be fun to all hang out as a group. Before introducing them, I had told Ava previously that I liked Brody for a very long time and that I was starting to catch feelings again. I also told her that he's kind of a womanizer and is hooked up with many girls and tends to brag about it constantly, which has led to me not liking him in the past. On top of that, he would constantly make remarks about my features and even talk about having sex with me when I was clearly not interested at the time. But that just goes to show the type of guy we're talking about. Yeah. Literally have no idea why I ever liked him, but that's not the point. Very like college frat guy, you know?
It's very like any rom-com, like the popular guy.
Yep. I ended up introducing them, and it seems to be going well. Within 2 weeks, they started hanging out a lot when I would be in class. Ugh. I ended up getting a bit jealous because I thought of us as a group of 3, but felt guilty for feeling that way when I brought it up to Ava briefly. She had thought that I was scared of something happening between them, and she assured me nothing would happen between them.
Mm-hmm. Mistake number 1.
About a week later, I had gotten news that my 18-year-old friend passed away and had to go home for his funeral. When I was gone, I found out that Brody had tried to make a move on Ava. I guess she rejected it. Not too long after, he confesses that he has feelings for her, and she's trying to determine if she likes him back or not, because she's dealing with the being friends with the friend kind of thing. I had a talk with him and essentially told him that he had taken advantage of the time that I was gone for my friend's funeral to make a move on Ava, my good friend. It's a bit of a blur for me right now, but I started distancing myself from Ava, and we ended up not talking for 2 months, which is wild and a challenge considering we live together. I found out through Brody's roommate that they were hooking up while I would be gone for work.
Okay.
The thing that bothered me about this is that Ava always talked about wanting to be in a relationship for at least a year before losing her virginity. And here she is giving it to this guy that she has not even known for 2 months, who has a reputation for hooking up with women and making super immature and objectifying remarks about women. And then again, of course, she had shared that she had feelings for him for over a year. He ended up cutting her off because he didn't have free access to her, which is literally why we hate him, because she wanted to talk about what was going on between them before she had sex with him again. I had told her about him doing this many times before to other women before I ever introduced them, but of course she didn't listen to me. So this is where I need advice. Am I valid for having a little resentment for the situation? I know she would always tell me that she would let me date one of her friends if she thought they were good for me, but Brody was in no way someone I would want dating any of my friends, given his lack of maturity and remarks. I just think it's disrespectful to girl code, going after a guy that I had liked for over a year, and just disrespectful to me in general, given the situation of taking advantage of me being gone for a funeral and grieving. I want to forgive her, but it feels almost impossible to move past. I would love to mend my relationship with her, but it's hard to get over what happened. It's hard to cut her out of my life because we still have to live together until early May. So should I talk to her about it or stay avoidant of the situation and just try to move past it? So sorry this was kind of long, but thank you guys for taking the time to read it. I love you girls. I attached a picture of Ava and I. I'm on the left with the cowboy hat. This was before a football game for you ladies. She's in the cowboy hat. Ava is next to her. Super cutie. Also,
stunning.
You're gorgeous, my girl. Oh, wow. The red hair, blue eyes. Wow.
I did not look like that in my college days. I'm telling you that right now. Oof, this is so messy.
It's so messy. It's so college. It's so
John Tucker must die.
John Tucker must die. It's so like small circle. Everyone has a crush on everyone, and it's weird. It gets weird. It gets very like people are dating each other, and that's college. College, Ashley, would be like avoid her, cut her off, screw her, don't be friends with her, blah 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 blah. I'm not saying to be friends with her, but I do think you should call her out for it and have a conversation about it. I think because you live together, it's not going to work just like cutting her off. Like your lives are so intertwined, and are you just going to like quietly look at her while she like crawls into bed? Like it's a dorm. It's not like you have an apartment. So I would talk to her about it, and I would just be honest. I'd be like, I don't trust you. I never want to like, how are we supposed to hang out with people? If I ever have a crush on a guy, I'm going to expect you to come like take him.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't matter, that Brody ended up being like a douchebag. We all knew he was going to be a douchebag. Like the fact of the matter is like you went behind my back and you went for the guy that I told you I liked. And now I don't know how I can be friends with you anymore. we can still be polite and cordial, but like, I don't think we can be friends. See what she says. Like, I think you have to get it out there and put it in the open and have a conversation about it. For at the very least, just to be able to like say hi in the morning, you know, like we got to get past that. So you can be like, hey, like, can you give me a ride to class? My car broke. There's a reason you guys need to be cordial. That doesn't mean you have to be best friends.
Yeah. Well, and like, it's so hard because like also like part of me is like feels really bad for her to an extent of like, if you can strip some of the details, like the fact that, I mean, for me, I'm like, she just lost her virginity to like this terrible person and is like going through all of that. So I'm sure as like her friend, like you hear part of that and it's like, it probably pulls you in a way where it's like part of you probably is like, dang,
Yikes.
like I want to be there for her, but also, yeah,
you knew
of
what you
course
were
this
doing.
is like what happened and like you deserve it. It's like, I'm sure you're kind of being pulled in like different directions.
The way I'd want to rub it in her face.
But also like, yeah, like, and I think that like, I don't know. I think it's okay to like put some stuff aside and sit with her and be like, are you okay? And like hug her and be there for her. And then afterwards be like, hey, I'm not okay with like what happened. And like, I'm not okay to like continue on with our friendship and like also address what happened. Like, I think, okay, it's okay to like do both things.
Oh, I love that.
But I do think it's like, it's very messy the way things went about. Like she could have come to you. If anybody watches Love Island, that's where everyone always goes wrong. Like you have to go to the person first and be like, hey, I'm going to pull so-and-so for a chat. Like you have to, you got to, there's an order of things. Like she could have come to you and been like, hey, I know you said you have a crush, but like we've been hanging out. There's kind of some feelings starting to happen. She could have even texted you, hey, I know you're away. I feel super crappy, but like, me and him hung out and like one thing led to another and like we like something happened. Like she could have done many things. The part that feels messy is you're away at work and they're hooking up in your place.
And
like,
she never talked to you about it.
Yeah, like you're her friend and like you're the person she should be coming to when like she loses her virginity. Like there's a lot of things that just felt very secretive and like the only reason it's secretive is because she knows it's like not right the way like she's going about it. So I do feel like you have every right to be upset and to call her out and to be like, hey, like moving forward, like our trust is broken and I don't know if I can continue being friends with you. Like I don't know. But I also feel like from what I've seen, especially when it comes to like someone losing their virginity and the things that like come with that. And like, if she got swept up with this guy who seems to be a master manipulator of women, like I think she got very like pulled into his like web of lies too. So it could have been like a blessing in disguise, honestly, that like maybe this was like the final straw that like you're out of his like reach too. Like now you need to just like cut this guy off. Like he's no longer someone you're interested in. Unfortunately, she's the one, like, I know you're hurt in this, but like she's the one that like has the lasting damage. Like he's her first, like, ew. You know what I mean? Like, ew. So I don't know. Like, I think this is like a breach of trust. It's terrible.
You have every right.
You dodged such a big bullet.
Oof, you did.
Such a big bullet. And I think you have the right to do whatever you want, but you also have a right to like be gracious too if you want. Like sometimes I feel like you almost feel like you have to go in being like, F everyone, like you're dead to me, like I'll never speak. And sometimes like, I don't know, like, the older I get, sometimes I just want to go in and be like, you realize like you're the worst. You don't deserve me. Yeah. Okay. All right. What do you want to get for lunch? Like sometimes like you just don't have the energy. So I feel like take the pressure off yourself. do what you got to do, have the conversations you need to have, realize you deserved so much better, and then move on the way you need to.
Yeah. You know what? I love the way you worded all of that. I think Taryn's right. And I think the cool thing is you're in a position where you get to do whatever feels best for you. So you can sit with this and kind of see what feels right. But I would do a little bit of both because both can exist. I think you could sit her down. She's probably going to be pants, which you can let her stress about it a little bit. It's okay. It's okay to let her kind of freak out a bit. And then be like, first of all, are you okay? Be like, I'm so sorry. I can go with you to go get an STD test because he's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, let's make sure you're good. And then once she's like, no, I'm good, whatever you got to do, then you can be like, I don't think we can be besties.
Yeah.
I don't see how, because you literally lied and went behind my back and went to the guy that I told you I had feelings for and did it anyways. I'm not shocked that he's treating you like because, you kind of knew what you were getting into. So,
I need space.
I need space. And if you end up being friends later, awesome. If that ends up cultivating after all of this, that would make me so happy because honestly, we're all dumb in college. And this was her first. She probably didn't have a lot of experience with guys. I can only imagine the guy that you were describing, this Brody character. If you haven't read the book, Tell Me Lies, that's who I envision.
I know.
That is who I am picturing. And the way he was gross and disgusting, but still got all of these girls was frustrating. Like, I just kept being like, how is everyone, why is this happening?
Working? Yeah.
And it really does take a master manipulator, a super charming person. And to be honest, it's not that hard. You tell a girl she's pretty and all of a sudden we're smitten. It's like, especially in college, like one guy complimented me and I was in love. And it's like, it's the craziest thing. So I do feel bad for her. Taryn's right. I'm going to be a little gracious.
Again, doesn't make it right.
Doesn't make it right.
Does not make it right.
It's not an excuse in any way.
This is me looking at her just as an individual, not looking at all the circumstances. I want to be so freaking clear on that. If
he was just a piece of trash that she hooked up with, I'd feel so bad for her. It's the fact that she knew way beforehand that you were his friend and that you had feelings for him. That's what's not okay here. And if you want to go ahead and like take the time to like draw that out for her, then like go for it. Awesome. But if you don't, you also don't have to. It's not your responsibility. Yeah. She'll learn down the line. But I am sorry that this happened to you.
Yeah.
But let's just snaps for you not having Brody as your first. I love that didn't happen to you.
Oh, Brody is trash.
Just the worst.
It's just it's so crazy to me because it doesn't matter. Like, even the guy, like, they'll let someone close to them and even be like friends with someone. And like, you'll be like, oh, like they seem like it's a genuine friendship, or they seem to learn, or they seem like they wouldn't do it to this person. And then it's the same side. It's like, I don't know. It's just so crazy because you just wonder like, what happened to you to make you like.
It's crazy because like some people, maybe they did have like something in their childhood. It usually always does come from some kind of childhood experience. But then other times you're just like, nope, you're just the worst. And I'm going to take this as a life lesson and look for these flags in everyone that I date.
Stay as far away from you.
I have a person, I'm not going to name him, but like I have a person that I met at a young age that every first date I went on, I looked for similarities to this guy. I feel like the reason I'm comfortable with dating Jackson for so long before getting married is because I was waiting for these red flags to pop up when we lived together, because I know if the person I'm talking about, who I loved dearly, moved in with this guy, she wouldn't have married him. And I like, to this day, when I know when Alicia starts dating someone, I'm going to be looking for these red flags. And I know she is too, because of how much it impacted both of us. So let Brody be your red flag in every relationship that moving forward. Like, let's look for Brody flags. And if you see a Brody flag, run.
Yeah.
Like, get out, hightail it out of there, because we don't have time to be dealing with these flags.
No.
Especially getting into like serious relationships.
Yeah.
So lesson learned. And Ava, lesson learned.
Woof,
Dear
man.
God.
Woof.
Pose before bros. Come on.
That's just it's so sad to me, because like, especially for someone who's been like she said, she had always said like she's gonna wait for it to be someone special and like wait like for it to then be someone who treats her like that. That's why I'm saying like when I take out all the details and I look at just her as an individual, like I do feel bad for her. Like I can't imagine after all that time to like let your standard down in that way. Like that would be really heartbreaking to like feel that. So I don't know, like she's going through a lot and like it's one of those things where it's in those situations, it's like you almost don't have to punish the person too much because they're going through their own punishment, you know?
They're probably having a hard time sleeping because they feel so guilty.
Yeah. So it's she's going through her own thing, but that's what I'm saying. Like you just do what you got to do in the situation, and it's okay if you need to cut her out, or you can be gracious and find a way to rebuild. But you do you do what's right for you.
Yeah, you get to do whatever you got to do.
I don't know what it is about younger and specifically like older high school / college where like everyone's like hooking up with each other's like it's like this big mix of like no one's safe, like hold on to your crush tight because
my youth group was wild. that was for me at the time. I was like older middle school, but there was a lot of high school age in there as well. So it was a big mix of literally everyone dating everyone, and it was a literal soap opera, and it was crazy. It was crazy,
psychotic.
And it's one of those things where it's just that age where there's like no, it's it's
where all of our trust issues first began.
Yep. Youth group
first began. All right, let's end with a dad joke. What did Cinderella say when her photos didn't show up?
What did Cinderella say when her photos didn't show up? What did Cinderella say when her photos didn't show up? Bippity boppity.
Someday my prince will.
That was good, Taryn. That was a good one. I really liked that one. Someday
so my prince will come.
Guys, if you made it to the dad joke, you know the drill. We love you the absolute mostest. If you want your email read on this podcast so that we can give you some unsolicited advice, you have to send them to us. What's our email, Taryn?
adviceunsolicitedpod@gmail.com. Oh my God, dude, that just like reflects.
Her eyes just now
my
just like
brain.
went super big. She was like, oh no.
I felt like I was like, you know those videos of like the kids at spelling bees?
Yeah.
That are like T-A T A. Like, just keep saying it over and over.
So email us there so that we can advise your situation. We have Instagram, we have TikTok, and we have YouTube where you can watch us do these podcasts.
And we have Supercast if you want more of us.
Supercast where we have scary stories.
Link in the thingy.
Description box. Well, that's YouTube.
Link in the we need to end this episode. Like ASAP.
Okay, love you guys. Love you. Bye.